I want to invite you into my house. My jewelry workshop's on the second floor, and you'll find me at work at my workbench, and you'll probably notice all the microscopes that are around. What I'm doing this for is I want you to look at my hands at 80 years old. I can work in 2 millimeters with a lot of accuracy. I'm making the parts for a piece of jewelry I dreamed up. And frequently I'll be in my little workshop on the second floor working on elements of a piece of jewelry. I want you to study my hands. You're going to learn 105 different tools. And it doesn't make any difference if you're going to be a doctor or an engineer. This little movie is going to profit you. Here's a friend of mine who's a watchmaker, and I mean a watchmaker. This guy can repair any watch, and he can build it from scratch. I watch this guy a lot of times. He's sort of become a friend of mine, and he's fixing my wife's watch. I look at his work table and I see how incredibly organized it is. This is a self-winding watch. All the pieces have to be cleaned. The mainspring is at the bottom of this slide. This guy can take a clock or watch. Notice how he organizes the batteries, the screws, the hands, everything he cleans before he reassembles. And you can imagine what a tragedy it would be if he lost one of those gears or one of those screws, irreplaceable. So he lays everything out on his workbench before he starts a job after he disassembles. And then he goes about putting the whole watch back together. He's got so much respect for me. I see so many Thai people that are so incredibly handy. Here I had to wrap 6 identical gifts, and I chose a wrapping paper, and I went to the counter, and I encountered this girl who, just watch the way she slices the paper to fit this little box of perfume. She's amazing, and I watched the skills that she's accomplished. There's no wasted movements. It's so amazing. She leaves enough paper over on both sides of the box to become flaps, and she uses double-sided tape. That's wonderful stuff. It leaves no evidence of gluing, so she peels the one-sided tape. I can hardly peel it myself. And she wraps the gift, and then she makes the end folds. Again, she's going to use double-sided tape to hold the paper on the box. Can you wrap a present? Do you have that skill? Look at the way these girls work. Her mate came over to the counter and she's putting the ribbon on, and I watched her moves too. It's so amazing to watch people who are skilled, and that's the way it's going to be after you have my class, because you are going to be incredibly skilled with your hands, and you won't be like any of the robots that are walking along in the breezeway. You're going to have an amazing skill. Watch the way at the end of the wrapping, when she's finished with the ribbon, that she cuts the ends of the ribbon off to give it a really nice little finish. She cuts on an angle, folds the ribbon, and gets this beautiful triangle going at the end of the ribbon. These girls are amazing. I know they do this every day, but you're going to have jewelry, and there's a lot of repetition and a lot of things you'll be doing every day, and I'm going to be watching your hands very carefully, and that tells me whether you really know what you're doing as you use the jewelry torch for soldering and the rest of the tools. 106 tools that you're going to use. Look at how she marks where to fold the paper. First she uses the knife to smooth it out, and then she slides the blade along, and now she's got a piece of paper that's perfect for the size of the box. Again, she goes back to double-sided tape, and then she very neatly does the ends of the box again with double-sided tape, which she peels off the second layer, and then folds the box to make a very neat end on it. Can you believe that these 6 boxes were done actually by 3 girls, but they were finished in about 16 minutes with 6 boxes of perfume wrapped perfectly. And it's really amazing. So every time you see a person doing something, watch the hands and watch the skill level, and this is what you're going to try to develop. It's called finesse, and you're going to try to develop this finesse in your own hands while working in my class. We're going to show you maybe 2 more things. These are KPIS workers working on the front of school. This guy is using a sanding machine upside down on the table. And what he's doing is dressing, we call this dressing, a 45-degree angle. This material is not wood. It looks like wood, but it's actually hollow plastic. And he's using the sanding machine to make that angle exactly 45 degrees. And again, this is called dressing. And it's going to become the front of KPIS. Look at the large illuminated letters. The school's going to have a whole new look, including a tiled path coming into the school. These 2 people are from Isan, again, tremendously talented, applying the cement. The girl is applying the cement to the tiles, so the tiles are all at the exact same height. And this guy mixes the concrete, drops it right where he's working, so he can continue to the end of the path. The Candyman has been in Thailand for 100 years. My wife is 47 years old in grammar school. She remembers a guy coming to the school, these guys often did, and makes candy that gets hard later that you can actually suck on like regular candy. But look at the guy's skill. He made an elephant in a few seconds out of 3 taffy-like preparations of sugar and food coloring. He uses the scissors to make the tusks of the elephant and then puts little cuts in the air, uses a different dyed sugar to make the eyes. And it's just amazing, the scale and his work, and he's making these things in about 3 minutes. So it's just wonderful to watch people who use their hands. And I suggest to you, if you get anything out of this movie, that you start to watch people use their hands. Years ago, these little candies would sell for 3 baht, but he's working in Central Department Store and they're 20 baht. Enjoy jewelry and the skills that are coming your way.